morning, students. Good morning. Okay, so um, before anything else, may I request Mr. Makugar to please lead the prayer? Okay. Amin. Okay, so um, once again, good morning, class. Okay, so before take your seats, kindly arrange your chairs and pick up the piece of trash. Okay, very good. So you may now take your seats. Okay, so before we proceed to our discussion, I would like to introduce myself. I'm Rasul Sulaiman and I will be your teacher for today. So, first, let us check the attendance. Who's absent in this row? Row 1? Wala. Okay, very good. How about this row? Wala din. Okay, so since all of you are present, starting today, I want you to maintain or perfect your attendance. At the end of this semester, pag na-perfect yung attendance, mayroon kayong gift from me. So mayroon akong surprise gift pag na-perfect yung attendance. And dapat walang isang absent. So, pero may tayong mga consideration, of course. Pag valid yung reason, so i-consider natin yan. So, yon. Are we clear, students? Okay, very good. So, I think handa na kayo sa klase natin today. But before that, magkakaroon tayo ng activity to measure your prior knowledge about our topic. Okay, so I will play a video. First, you have to group yourself into two groups, or maybe this row, you'll be the group 1 and you'll be the group 2, row 2. And what you have to do is to choose or select one representative to explain what have you observed in the video I will play, or what is your thoughts about the video. So you have to pay attention, you have to listen carefully and understand the video. Okay?
Achieve something, the chances are there will be a disagreement or two. Conflict is a natural part of working in teams, and it can occur for a number of reasons. For example, it could be a conflict caused by processes, overlapping roles, or differences in opinion. Sometimes conflicts can be caused by external influences, but of course the classic reason is interpersonal conflict. Now, when a conflict occurs, there are steps you can take to solve it constructively. The correct way would be to take a step back and ask yourself some challenging questions. Start by asking yourself, why is there a conflict in the first place? Simply by thinking about the cause of the conflict could be enough to give you the solution. It may help to write it down or discuss it with someone, but if that doesn't shed any light, then try seeing it from the other person's point of view. Best-selling author Stephen Covey uses the phrase, seek first to understand, then to be understood. By this he means if you understand the other person's point of view, then you can get your point across much easier. Finally, try to remember what's really important. What are your priorities? Is your point of view in line with the overall objectives of the team, and are you being true to your principles? Try to keep emotions out of it and keep conversations professional, but most importantly, be focused on the solution. Don't dwell on the conflict or hold grudges. Be focused on finding a win-win outcome. Although conflict can be damaging to a team's productivity, it's worth considering the upsides of conflict. Yes, conflict can have its benefits. Think about it. If ideas aren't challenged and different views aren't aired, then how do good ideas ever become great ideas? The Honda Corporation are actually known to encourage conflict in its design teams because they recognize that out of the chaos can come great creativity. So the right amount of conflict can be good, but generally, teams working in harmony perform better. So to be an effective member of a team, you need to be mindful of why conflict occurs and the questions you can ask yourself in order to find a resolution.
I will give you 5 minutes to discuss what have you observed in the video, or 3 minutes, and then one representative to share what have you observed in the video I played. Okay, so row 1, who's your representative? Okay, Mr. Asrap. Okay, Mr. Asrap, what have you observed? Okay. Okay, very good. You stated that the video I played states that it's about misunderstanding or misconception. Okay, very good. Okay, how about row 2? Okay, Miss Bilbao. Okay. Okay, very good. So the main point of your ideas or what have you observed is about conflict, of course. It's the conflict between two groups or two people, persons rather. Okay. Okay, so all your ideas are tama. Tama yung mga ideas niyo, ma-observe niyo. And how about you, Mr. Makugar? What have you observed in the video? Same thought? Okay. Miss Pama, based on the video I played, what have you realized? Okay? You realize that conflict, pwede rin masolusyonan yung conflict. Okay, very good. Yes, there's a lot of way to resolve or transforming conflict. Okay? So, I think meron na kayong idea kung ano yung magiging topic natin for today. Okay, Miss Daud, what will be our topic for today? Okay, very good. So, our topic for today is about transforming or resolving a conflict. Okay, very good. Okay, so our topic for today is about resolving and transforming conflict. Okay, so before that, let us define what is conflict. Bakit ba nangyayari ang conflict? So, conflict is nangyayari siya because of different beliefs, different perception, different um, culture, traditions, yung iba't ibang paniniwala. Of course, meron tayong pinagkaiba-iba. So, nangyayari yung conflict because of misunderstanding, misconception. For example, mayroong bagay na hindi kayo nagkaunawaan. So, yon conflict, nandun, nangyayari yung conflict. So, sinasabi dito is conflict is natural part of our life. So, it is commonly happen or naturally happen in our life. Because pinanganak tayo na kasabay na natin yung conflict. Yung conflict, nangyayari siya between two parties or groups. Sabi dito, it is it is from the Latin word conflictus, which means striking together with force. So kapag yung dalawang parties or dalawang tao hindi nagkasundo o meron silang different na paniniwala, doon nagkakaroon ng conflict. It occurs when one's actions or beliefs are unacceptable to or resisted by the other. So, ayun, pag yung paniniwala ng isa ay hindi siya acceptable by others, so yun, nagkakaroon ng conflict. Tumataas yung conflict. So yun, pag-aaralan natin ngayon kung paano natin masusolusyonan itong conflict na ito. But before that, ano sa tingin niyo yung mga rason kung bakit iniiwasan natin na masolusyonan or to resolve the conflict? What prevents us to resolve the conflict? In any idea? Okay. Okay, Miss Bilbao? Because of what? Because of pride? Yes. Can be. Yes. How about you, Miss Angko? Yes. Because of what? Anger? Yes, of course. So that's the reason kung bakit iniiwasan natin to resolve the conflict. It's about the pride. Mataas yung pride mo. Kaya ayaw mo pag-usapan yung conflict between you and you. And example lang yon. And another one is the anger. Yung galit mo. Kapag yung mataas yung emotions mo, pag nagagalit ka, kumaga hindi mo na naiisip na pag-usapan yung conflict na yun. And another one is the desire to revenge. Yung nasa isip mo lang, nasa puso mo is gusto mo makaganti sa isang tao. So yan yung mga rason kung bakit iniiwasan natin na masolusyonan or ma-resolve yung conflict between two parties or between you and you. Okay. Okay, understand? Okay, very good. So ngayon, pag-aaral natin kung bakit ba nagkakaroon ng conflict. Okay, so why do conflicts arise? So bakit ba tumataas or nagkakaroon ng conflict? Number one reason is because of the territorial disputes. Agawan sa teritoryo. So madalas nangyayari to sa mga sa Muslim areas, 'di ba? Agawan ng lupa. So yun, one of the main reason kung bakit nagkakaroon ng conflict between two parties. Second one is ethnic and religious animosities. So it talks about the religion or ethnicity, yung different beliefs sa religion. For example, the Christianity and the Islam, nagkakaroon ng conflict because of different beliefs. So yon, different religion. Third one is ideological and power struggles. So kadalasan nangyayari to sa government and talks about the power of the government. And then fourth one is the social justice. So one of the good example of social injustice is the prejudice or the racism. So yun, nagkakaroon ng conflict because of those reasons. So, sa prejudice, di ba? Marami, na-discuss na natin yon. And then, fourth one is search for statehood. So, state versus state. Country versus country. Example, yung nangyayari sa China in the Philippines. 'Di ba? Ang China, inaangkin nila yung part ng Philippines na ang paniniwala nila is sa kanila yung territory na yon or part yun ng state nila. And the Philippines is claim din natin na atin yung area na yon. Yung state na yon, a part yun ng state natin. So, state versus state, agawan ng teritoryo. So, parang sa number one din. But so dito is, it talks about the state. Okay, next one is trade and market competition. So, very relevant to siya. Sa mga market, punta kayo sa mga market, merong mga conflict na nangyayari dyan. And then, last one is contest over economic resources. So, it can be a reason kung bakit nagkakaroon ng conflict. Okay, so understand? Okay, very good. Any questions about this? Wala? Okay, so let's proceed. Okay, so since we already mentioned about anger, ngayon pag-uusapan natin, we will define what is anger and what is its effect. Ano yung epekto kapag nagagalit ka. So sabi dito, more commonly experienced, anger is more commonly experienced emotions when parties are in a conflict. So of course, kapag yung dalawang parties or dalawang tao is in conflict, meron silang hindi pagkakaintindihan, doon lumalabas si anger. Nagkakaroon ng galit, ng inis sa bawat isa. Not merely irritation or disappointment, but a combined feeling of disappointment, anxiety, and indignation. So, kumaga unexplainable feeling, it's not all about the irritation or disappointment sa isang tao. It is a combined feelings of disappointment. Diba pag nagagalit ka, yung mga tao na may anxiety, lumalabas yung anxiety nila, ganyan, and it's affect our health, our mental health, di ba? So yan yung nagiging epekto ng anger. Pag galit ka, nagkakaroon ng anxiety, ng disappointment, and of course, naapektuhan yung mental health natin. Okay, understand? Okay, so since you understand naman, let's proceed to mga tips na pwede nating gawin to change our anger into a better. Okay? Okay, so here's some ways to change the form of anger into a better. Okay, first is recognize that you are angry. So you have to recognize, you have to be aware of kung saan ka nagagalit, awareness kung ba't ka nagagalit. Dapat alam mo kung ba't ka nagagalit, kung saan ka nagagalit. You have to recognize kung ba't ka nagagalit. And then the second one is the distance yourself from the situation. Kung dito sa circle na to or dito sa lugar na to is, kumbaga, dyan nag-start yung conflict, kung ba't ka nagalit, you have to distance yourself from that situation. Or simply find a place kung saan marirelax yung utak mo, yung emotions mo, pwedeng mag-cool down yung sarili mo. So yan, you have to distance yourself. Find a solution to that problem. Next one is the release anger physically in direct form. So hindi siya yung direct talaga na mananakit ka. It's kumbaga daanin mo siya sa mga indirect form, physically indirect form like pupunta ka sa gym, magbubuhat ka ng mabibigat. Sabi nila, it can reduce anger daw pag nasa gym ka or punta ka sa mga lugar na like sa yung mga court. Ako ginagawa ko, pag nagagalit ako, pupunta ako sa volleyball court, naglalaro. So yun, nare-reduce yung anger ko, yung anxiety ko, and kumaga, happy lang. It's very light, ganon. And then, pwede ring hanap ka ng ano, yung punching bag. So yun, ilabas mo yung galit mo doon. Pwedeng hanap ka ng lugar na walang nakakarinig sa'yo. Pwede mong isigaw lahat ng galit mo doon. Yun yung mga ways para maiwasan or ma-change yung anger mo into mas maging better. And then next one is use relaxation techniques. So yung breathe in, breathe out, ganyan. Yung you have to relax yourself. And then next is calm your mind, talk to yourself. 'Di ba pwedeng ikalma, kalma, kalma yung utak mo and then kausapin mo yung sarili mo kung bakit nangyayari yung ganyan, ba't ka nagagalit. It can help you to reduce your anger. And the next one is apply therapeutic techniques. Ito yung sinasabi nating therapeutic techniques. Halimbawa, manunood ka ng mga videos na pwedeng mag-change yung moods mo, yung galit mo, makikinig ka ng mga relaxing music, ganyan. So, pwedeng i-apply mo yan pag nagagalit ka. And then, next one is use social support. Talk to someone. So, pwedeng kausapin mo yung family mo, yung closest friend mo, ilabas mo yung mga hinanaing mo, sama ng loob. So, it can help you to change your mood or kumaga ma-reduce yung anger mo. And then next one is redirect your energy. So pwedeng ibaling mo yung sarili mo sa ibang bagay. For example, maglilinis ka ng bahay, magdidecorate ka ng bahay, magdidilig ka ng mga halaman, mag-arrange ka ng mga halaman. So redirect your energy. Kumbaga ibaling mo yung sarili mo sa ibang bagay para maiwasan your anger. And then next one is cry it out. So sabi nila nakakatulong daw ito pag galit ka, pag ang bigat na ng pakiramdam mo, pwede mo siyang iiyak. And after mong umiyak, kumbaga marireduce or matatanggal or mawawala, mababawasan yung uh, galit mo, your sama ng loob mo. And then lastly is turn to spiritual support. So it's very effective na kumbaga magdasal ka, mag-pray, kausapin mo si God or si Allah, pumunta ka ng mosque, pumunta ka ng simbahan, visit those place and then kausapin mo si Allah o si God. Yan yung best way para ma-change yung anger mo into a better. Okay, so I think naintindihan naman. So ayun, magpo-proceed tayo sa how do we directly express our anger. Okay, so it's very explainable. Describe the behavior that angers you. Describe mo sa tao yung behavior kung ba't ka nagalit. Second one is describe how you feel about the behavior. I-describe mo sa kanya kung ano yung na-feel mo sa behavior or yung act na ginawa niya. And then lastly, describe the reason for your feeling. So, describe mo ano yung rason kung ba't ka nagalit. So, understandable. Okay, so here's some tips on how we deal with others people ang anger. Kung paano natin kakausapin yung tao na na nagagalit. First is allow expression and listen. You have to allow that person to express their feelings kung ba't sila nagagalit. And all you have to do is just listen. Makikinig ka lang. And do not counter-attack. Huwag kang magsasabi ng mga words na pwede makatrigger sa anxiety nila or kung bakit sila nagagalit. Habang nagsasalita sila, mong i-interrupt para hindi madagdagan yung galit nila. And then, stand in the shoe of other, of course. Try mo na ikaw yung nasa situation nila and then after that, mafe-feel mo kung bakit sila nagagalit and maintindihan mo kung bakit ganun yung reaction niya. And then, help him or her to calm down. Of course, yun yung best na gagawin natin is tulungan natin sila na i-calm down yung sarili nila. And then, paraphrase or clarify, dapat i-paraphrase mo yung kumaga may manaririnig ka na hindi tama, i-clarify mo, and then explain your situation or explain the situation. Explain mo kung bakit nangyari yon. Explain the situation kung bakit or bakit nangyari yun sa inyo o bakit nangyari sa kanya. And then, look into options together. Kumbaga, sabay kayo na maghahanap ng mga alternative options or way para mabawasan yung anger. And then next is if you can't deal with other people's or persons wrath as ask for help. So pwede kayong mag-ask ng help sa hanap kayo ng ibang tao na pwede makatulong sa inyo. Mamaya pa mapag-usapan natin yan, yung sinasabi nating mediator. Okay, so next. So here's the main option in dealing with conflict. So ano ba? First is avoidance or withdrawal. So when the person has no power to change the situation, kumbaga alam mo sa sarili mo na wala kang solution, walang solution na pwedeng gawin dyan. So you have to withdraw, you have to avoid that conflict. The more na pinanghahawakan mo yan, the more na lumalaban ka, the more na nasasaktan kasi alam mo rin sa sarili mo na walang solution. And then next one is aggression when the persons consider the issue important and will use power to achieve his or her goal. So when you feel that conflict or that problem is kumaga very, very important and it can help you. So you have to be aggressive. You have to be aggressive and find ways. Kumaga hanap ka ng paraan para masolusyonan yung problem na yan. And then accommodation when a person gives up to serve harmony in the relationship. So you have to accommodate. And then next is compromise when both parties cannot get what they want fully, they have usually met in the middle. So give half, kumbaga paghatian nyo na lang. And then collaboration when both issue and relationship are important to the parties, you have to collaborate. Magtulungan na lang kayo. Move together. So, yun, you have to collaborate. So, mamaya mapag-usapan natin yan kung ano yung mga possible ways. So, we already mentioned the collaboration. So, here's some steps in collaborative problem-solving approach kung paano niyo masosolusyonan yung problem. First is storytelling. Exchange information on what happened. So, dapat pag-usapan nyo kung anong nangyari, ano ba yung naging problema. And then focusing. Focus on the discussion on each other's underlying needs and interests. So, dapat i-focus yung discussion nyo rather, sa kung ano yung mga kailangan or kung ano yung mga interest pwede nyo improve. And then think all the possible option that can reconcile needs. So mag-isip kayo ng mga bagay na pwedeng makatulong, mga possible option para ma-achieve yung goal nyo. And then lastly is concurring. Evaluate the alternative and agree on that best option. So dapat evaluate nyo kung ano yung napili ng option and then you have to agree both. Kasi para hindi magkaroon ulit ng conflict. Okay, next. Okay, so since yung collaborative approach is kailangan ng magandang pag-uusap, here's some tips to good dialogue para mas mapaganda yung pag-uusap para hindi magkaroon ulit ng conflict. First is speak in a gentle way, non-threatening manner. So dapat malumanay lang yung pag-uusap para hindi makakreate ng conflict. Yun. And then think carefully of what you are going to say. So dapat yung mga sasabihin mo, dapat pinag-iisipan mo yan. Huwag kang magsasabi ng mga words na pwedeng makakreate ulit ng conflict between you. And then use the I message. So you must be assertive. Yan. And then next one is admit your own responsibility to the conflict. So you have to admit your responsibility kung bakit nangyari yon, ganon. And then next one is avoid using hazy statements and global words. So yun, iwasan yung mga inappropriate words. Then be willing to tell the other person's his or her positive attributes. So dapat i-praise mo rin siya. Sabihin mo yung mga positive attributes kung ba about sa tao na yon. And then next one is show a positive regard and respect. So, kailangan yung respect, nandiyan pa rin yan. Hindi yan pwede mawala. And then, be tough on the problem, not on the person. So, doon kayo mag-focus sa problem, hindi sa, kung ano yung sa tao. And then, next is don't take anything personally. So, you must be open-minded. So, dapat nag-share kayo ng ideas, ng thoughts. So, dapat you have be open-minded. So, yun, dapat accept criticism. And then next one is be solution oriented. Solution oriented, kumaga hanap kayo ng ang kumaga nag-uusap kayo for a solution only para makahanap ng solution. Yan. And then understand any question? Wala. Okay, so let's proceed. So here's some tips in a good listening. So dapat kapag nagsasalita siya, you have to listen. At, di ba pag-uusapan niyo yung problem, so here's some tips para mas maging effective. First is listen or actively listen. You have to pay attention on that person sa nagsasalita. Listen actively. So next one is listen with empathy. So you have to feel that person na concerned ka. The empathy dapat nandun. And then next one is accept criticism of your ideas or behavior. So what I've mentioned earlier na you have to be open-minded, accept criticism of your ideas. Ikaw nag-share ka rin ng thoughts, ideas, so you have to accept the criticism. Open-minded dapat. And then paraphrase what you have heard and clarify when needed. So nasabi ko na rin to kanina, you have to paraphrase. Kung may narinig ka ng hindi tama, you have to clarify. And then, it's very understandable. Wala. So let's proceed. Okay, so what is mediation? An effective way of resolving disputes or misunderstanding without the need to go to the court, na hindi na kailangan na umabot pa sa korte, is you have to find the mediator. Ang sinasabi nating mediator is the third party who can helps both sides come to an agreement. So the mediator itself must possess these characteristics of a good mediator. So here's the characteristic or the qualities essential to a good mediator. So itong mga kinakailangan na characteristic or qualities ng isang mediator. Kung hahanap kayo ng mediator, it must possess or he or she must possess these characteristic. First one is mediator have to be impartial to establish trust among parties and conflict. So kumbaga, yung mediator na yun is kaya niya mag-establish ng trust sa both parties. Kumbaga, wala siyang kinikilingan. And then, next is they should be non-judgmental. So, hindi sila dapat judgmental. So, kung hahanap kayo ng mediator, dapat ito yung mga katangian na hinahanap nyo. And understanding, dapat nintindihin niya yung problem, yung conflict, kung ba't nangyayari. And then, mediators must be flexible and creative. So, dapat flexible sila. Kung ano yung kinakailangan na gawin, kaya nila. They must be creative. Makakagawa sila ng another way to solve the problem. And then, next one is they should know how to reframe situation and broaden the perspective. So, dapat alam nila kung paano nila i-reframe yung situations and then broaden their perspective. Kumbaga, mas napapalawak pa nila yung perspective nila, yung paniniwala nila about dun sa conflict na yon. And then, next one is mediator should be a good analysis. So, dapat a good analysis din. Dapat kaya nilang i-analyze yung mga pangyayari. And then, next one is mediator should show regard and concern of the parties and conflict. So, dapat may concern din siya sa both parties, hindi lang sa isa. So, dapat concern siya sa both parties. And the next one is they should be trustworthy and optimistic. So, dapat pagkakatiwalaan sila and optimistic. And the next one, they should anticipate a positive outcome and influence adversaries with such hope. So, dapat yung mindset nila is masasolve yung problem. Positive outcome, all about positive outcome and influence adversaries with such hope. So, dapat yung high hopes nandun siya. And then lastly, they should encourage the disputes to try again. For example, hindi na-solve yung problem, so they should encourage the dispute or the involved sa problem na yun na to try again. So, dapat try and try. Yun yung mga positive, dapat yung mga qualities or characteristic ng isang mediator na dapat na hahanapin natin sa makatulong sa conflict. Okay, so wala nang questions. So let's proceed. Last part, this is the teaching learning ideas. So as a teacher, this is ways to create an atmosphere of love and acceptance in the classroom. So first, declare your classroom a zone of peace and establish rule to achieve it. So dapat mag-establish ka ng rules or goal na dapat ma-achieve. Establish or declare mo yung classroom mo, nasa school or classroom of peace. So dapat pinopromote yung peace doon. And then as the teacher, let this peace begin with you. Of course, you are the role model. Ikaw yung sinusunod nila. So you must uh, possess that characteristic as a teacher. And then affirm your student. Next is express feelings appropriately and encourage students to do so. So, yun, express mga feelings na kinakailangan and then encourage mo yung students mo na dapat ganun din sila. And then, next is encourage respect for and acceptance of differences. Of course, sa school, difference yan, diverse. So, you have to encourage the respect. You have to uh, teach them how to respect the differences and accept the differences of each other. And then next is employ more cooperative than competitive activities. Of course, pag employ more, dapat mas focus ka sa cooperative na activities kasi pag nag-employ ka ng competitive activities, mas nagkakaroon ng conflict. So, pataasan, ganon. So, dapat cooperative. You have to teach your students how to cooperate with each other. Then teach students how to resolve conflict peacefully and constructively. So dapat turuan mo sila kung paano nila masolusyonan yung problem peacefully and then practice student skills of communications ko para mas madali masolusyonan yung problem. You have to teach them how to uh, communicate peacefully. So that's it. Guys, wala nang questions. I think wala na. Wala? Okay, so since wala kayong question, I think naintindihan naman yung discussion. Now, magkakaroon tayo ng activity. So, you have to group yourself into two groups. So, count in 1 to 2. 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay, sa likod. Very good. So, group 1, occupy the seats here and group 2 here. Now, what you have to do is to make a scenario na mayroong conflict and papakita nyo kung paano nyo masusolusyonan yung conflict na yun. So, pwede kayong magkaroon ng mediator, ganyan, pag-usapan nyo. And then, i-act nyo dito sa front. Okay, so, I will give you 5 minutes to discuss or gumawa ng scenario and then you have to present here in front. Okay? Okay, so done. Okay, so group 1, please present your scenario. Okay, very good. Give them a round of applause. How about group 2? Okay, group 2. Okay, very good. So, before we end our class, meron pa tayong 5 minutes. Any questions about the discussion? So, kung wala na kang questions, paki-take note, meron kayong assignment. So, you have to answer the following. Number 1, pakisulat po, what is conflict? In your own idea, what is conflict? Okay, second question, what is the best way to resolve the conflict? Again, number 2, what is the best way to resolve the conflict? And lastly, why do you have to deal with other people's anger? Number 3, why do you have to deal with other people's anger? So that's it. And your assignment will be passed tomorrow. So goodbye class and thank you for participation.